Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Punkavai here for MMOBomb.com, and welcome to another first impression gameplay video. This week we're taking a look at Hawken, which is of course a new free-to-play mech shooter published by Adhesive games. I'll spend about 15 or 20 minutes or so checking out the game, making my usual commentary. If you guys want to learn more about Hawken, I highly suggest you check down below at MMOBomb.com for the full game profile. Now, the game is upcoming to be closed beta, but right now we actually gain access to a press event that's currently going on today. So we decided to jump in and check out Hawken and let you guys see what you guys can expect once closed beta and then full release actually comes for Hawken. Now, this game originally was only being created by 9 people, but more and more people over time have been added to the team, and the game is shaping up to be one of the better, if not one of the best breakout free-to-play titles of 2012. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Hawken, it pits basically 2 teams against each other, or a free-for-all, depending on which modes, and you pilot a mech. You're a mech pilot. Now, these mechs aren't like your typical mech warrior mechs where they're big and lumbering. These are very fast-paced mechs. These mechs rely a lot on agility and on quick maneuvers in order to get in the battle and get the upper hand. And so what you have is you have a lot more fast-paced action versus your typical mech, like Armored Core or Mech Warrior, but you still have retained the mech feel. So they still plot around, and you still can only move or jump around at certain times, barring your fuel, which we'll get into a little bit. Now, let's go ahead and jump into a game here. I'm going to go ahead and deploy. And there's not really a lot of people on right now, given the fact that this is a press event. But let's go ahead and check out where we have available spots open here. Now, we have, as you can see, a couple servers open here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into... Let's go ahead and jump into one of the modes that you guys haven't seen yet, which is the Hawken UK. Actually, the server is Hawken UK number 4. But the mode is called Titan. And the map is called Titan, rather, and the mode is called Missile Mode. And the way the Missile Mode works is you basically have 3 objectives. It's kind of like domination. You control these objectives, and the longer you control these objectives, the more damage you do to the enemy's base, eventually to the point where you destroy the enemy's base. If any of you have ever played Battlefield 2142, you guys remember the Titan mode there, where the Titan ships flew over and you had to capture those bases so that you could actually destroy the shields off the Titan or destroy the Titan in general. That is how this works as well, except there's no ship. You just basically controlling the points. So let's go ahead and jump down here. Now, S3 here, this is the silo number 3. This is the closest silo. This silo point actually is contested by the enemies, so we've got to go up and actually control this point. Now, we came here a little bit late. As you can see here, the current score is 117 to 711, and we started, I believe, 1600 and work our way down. So the lower we get, the less HP we have available. So we have pretty low HP, but as long as we control these points and don't let the... Oh, whoa, he just used an EMP on me, which will disable my weapons. But as long as we retain as many points as possible, we do have a chance at winning the game. So now they're taking Silo 1 fairly quickly here. So what I'm going to try to do is flank around them, take it as quickly as possible before they actually get there. So I'm going to skirt around here. Now, there's quite a lot of guys here. And I'm going to use my... Now, I'm a sharpshooter. Now, as a sharpshooter, I do a lot of burst damage here, and I did take out that guy. So with the burst damage I'm able to do as a sharpshooter, basically a sniper class, you're able to take down lighter classes fairly easily. Now, there are different types of classes in Hawken. You have the light class, you have the medium class, and you have heavy classes. Heavy classes, of course, have more HP. They deal more damage, but they're much slower. In comparison, the light classes, they deal a moderate amount of damage, but they're very fast and also very fragile. So if you get hit by a lot of upfront damage, you will die extremely quickly. However, you can actually repair your mech, and if I show you here, I've sustained a little bit damage, but if I hit C real quick, a little robot will come up and actually repair my mech. So I'm back to full HP there. Now, there is a tactical aspect to that, given the fact that this guy here is a rocket launcher coming out here. Given the fact that guys can actually come up to you as you're repairing and shoot you. So you may just want to use your repair when it's necessary in order to not get in a position. Now, I just eliminated another guy here, so I'm doing quite well. But granted, I have actually been playing Hawken since the alpha. I used a little bit of a jump pad there to bring myself up so I can actually get a better view. As a sharpshooter up here, it's always good to be as far up as possible, given the fact that when you're up this far... See if I can make sure not to get killed. Nope, too many guys up there. But when you're up this far, you actually get advantage of being higher up above people. So let's go ahead and I can switch my primary weapon. So I had the SA Hawkins, which is a little bit kind of like a medium range sniper rifle, like kind of. I guess you could say it is not a one-time use bolt action. You can kind of, you know, it's a semi-auto. But I just switched to a separate weapon here, which is the slug rifle, I believe, which allows me to use 2 individual attacks with a longer cooldown, but with higher damage. So there's more theoretical burst damage, but less sustained damage. Now they are taking the second point, so we got to make sure that they don't actually take this point. Now as a light mechs take a lot of damage, as you can see from sharpshooter. So, oh, this guy is repairing himself, so I'll make sure that he's okay here. Go ahead and make sure there's a point number 2 up there at the top. And we actually might come back for the win here, which would be quite nice. How are we looking at the score here? I am 4-1. This guy's in my way. Let's go ahead and just move out of there real quickly here. And we are actually going to be able to get the win here. Now, as you can see, it cuts to a little rocket there, destroying the enemy base. Not bad at all. Keep in mind this is closed beta. This is actually pre-closed beta, so not all the effects, not all the endings, etc. are final. You know, this is still very much a work in progress, and with the slated release date in December, we can expect more improvements to come over time. Now let's see here. Let's go ahead and jump out of this match really quickly here, because let's try to find a game from the get-go. So I can jump back here. Now what I can quickly do is show you guys the different mechs and stuff available here. If we jump back after it syncs to the account and go to Garage, you'll see these are my current mechs available. And in what they have a system that works a lot like League of Legends, etc., where you can basically rent or test drive certain mech types during certain weeks in order for you to continue to play the game as you accrue the currency to purchase mechs. There are 2 different currency styles. The one style, the blue one here, is of course the currency that you purchase with real money, and the other currency is of course the currency that you accrue over time in game. Now these are all subject to change as far as how much things cost, etc., but you essentially purchase your get-go mechs either with real currency or with the in-game currency. As you can see, 9,200 versus 1030. And once you purchase it, then you can make additional changes to your mech. So if I look at my sharpshooter mech right here, as you can see, I can equip an offensive item. Now these do cost certain currencies, so we can add a detonator, certain turrets, MG turrets or rocket turrets. HE charges are essentially lob grenades. And then we have functional items, and each of the classes can have a functional item slot. So in this case, for the sharpshooter, we have EMP, radar, and radar scrambler, which means, of course, people won't be able to see you on the map. So if I wanted this, I could just buy that. I can spend my meteor points on that and then equip the EMP. EMP is like a one-time use during your life and allows you to disable the enemy mech's abilities and such for a certain amount of time. Now you can also disable your own mech's abilities and your own mech's weapons if you fire it too close. So as you keep upgrading and as you keep ranking up with a particular mech, you'll get different tech points available, you'll get different primary weapon upgrades, etc. So it rewards you more time you spend playing a certain mech, allowing you to further customize that mech. Now past this, we have optimizations, which essentially are 3 distinct tech trees. If you're familiar with games with tech trees or any kind of MMORPG, you would be familiar with this, where you can put points into certain trees and kind of increase down to the very last point, which is put towards like a super point or a super tech. So in this case here, I can hit autofill if I want, and it will say increase my movement speed. Now this is the movement tree. This tree allows me to move as quickly as possible, use my thrusters more. The defense tree, of course, increases your resistance to bullet damage, it increases your heat, and decreases your weapon heat, which is essential for firing more quickly. And then the offensive tree, of course, increases your damage, reload time, etc., all that kind of stuff. Now you can of course customize these to include a few in each tree or whatever you want to your liking. So I like the fact that there's a lot of optimization there. Body and paint shop aren't quite fully implemented, but you can expect that you can change your mech color as well as your pattern types. I'm sure as time goes on, these things will be increasingly added or expanded upon so that you can make your mech look different every single time you want. As you can see, there are different types of weapons or items that you can actually attach. These don't affect your performance. They are merely just cosmetic items. Adhesive Games really wanted to make sure that they do not affect your performance. That way people can feel free to change their looks without having to worry about, I don't know what this, a pilot guided rocket, that seems pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and spin points to get that. That way you don't have to worry about everybody looking the same in order for them to achieve the same amount of performance. So let's go back to deploy real quickly. Let's go into the server browser and see if we can find ourselves a different mode. So we just saw the Titan game map mode here. If we scroll down here, we have the Sahara Desert on Hawken UK 2, which we can join in on. Now the Sahara Deathmatch, this is just a deathmatch version, but the Sahara Desert map is much more open, so that presents different challenges and etc. because certain classes will be better, obviously. So let's go ahead and try out the Rocketeer. Now Rocketeer is a heavy class, so as a heavy class you're going to be moving much slower, but you'll be able to have a much more defensive position here. And as you can see, I've got a rocket turret available, so I can usually set the rocket turret up and it'll do its own thing. I don't have to control it at all. It kind of just automatically starts firing at enemies that are around me. Now this is a free-for-all, rather. This is not a team deathmatch. So let's go ahead and use my ability. Oh, now I used F. Now I didn't mean to use F, but what F did is F put me into this mode where essentially I become this walking turret. I move much slower and I can't really jump, but I do a lot of damage. And this guy is doing a good job there of kiting me. Now I shouldn't have hit F. I should have hit R, which is what I meant to do. So let's go ahead and get back to this. I'm going to switch to EOC Repeater, which basically allows me to fire these little grenades at people fairly quickly here. Now there isn't any third-person mode. We are working in first-person mode here, and I do like the fact that the game really feels like a mech game. This doesn't feel like Call of Duty with a mech skin. This definitely feels like a mech game, and there are a lot of attributes of the game that are mech specific, you know, like the whole heat-based system. What I mean by the heat-based system is when you fire a weapon, you generate heat. Now if you guys have been ever fans of like a Mech Warrior or any game like that, you'll notice the heat system is something very familiar. You can only fire your weapons to a certain amount before your mech ended up overheating, and when it overheats, you aren't able to fire your weapons for a certain amount of time. Now I do believe they ended up taking out my Rocketeer thing, as you can. This guy's doing a lot of damage. Now, my right mouse button should allow me to actually hit people with rockets. In order for me to hit these with rockets, I do have to lock on, which I've been forgetting to do. In order to lock on, and if I don't get a kill with this round, I'm probably going to switch to a mech that's a little bit better for deathmatch style mode. But in order to lock on, you basically hold the little mouse button here, and you'll see that little reticule show up. And that reticule, what that allows you to do is to kind of like highlight over individuals and lock onto them with your Hellfire missiles. There we go. So let's shoot my rockets there. Let's fire some more rockets. Come on. There we go. Alright, so we're going to fire a lot of rockets there, and let's fire it back. Now with this weapon, you do have to make sure that you have to kind of lead them, because it doesn't automatically get them there. You know, there is some time it takes. Now that guy just got hit pretty hard, but he got, man, that was totally my kill. Damn it. Alright, so let's see if we can lock on this guy again. Now there is some time before you can actually use the lock-in once more. But as you can see, if you actually get the appropriate hits with your Hellfire missile, it's quite effective. You can do quite a lot of damage. Alright, where'd this guy go? And as you can see, if you get all of the EOD or EOC weapon attacks on him, you'll do a lot of damage. You can pretty much take about half a guy's HP off. But again, it takes a lot of skill, a lot of effort in order to get that hit off effectively. So let's go ahead and repair it. Now there are other game modes available besides Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, and the Titan mode. There's another one called Siege, where essentially one team operates a giant overflowing spaceship. You may have seen it in the trailers, and pushes towards an objective point. Now that ship can fire down on individuals as well as be fired at, and basically the defensive team, their objective is to take out that ship, and of course on the offensive is to escort the ship as it continuously moves towards the objective point. Now you may have seen me there use this tiny little robot, and what that robot does is allows me to repair myself. And oh, I'm getting hit from behind. Alright, did get that guy out though. So I'm now rank 7 here, not doing extremely well though, using a mech class that is not really good for free-for-all, at least not when you're being focused, because it is so much of a slower mech. Let's see if I can use this. Ah, can I get him? There we go. So I did end up taking that guy out. I did get an elimination here. Did I get a double kill? I don't think I meant to take out the other guy. I think my rocket actually took him out. So let's go back over here and repair. So yeah, the siege mode is probably one of the more unique modes, given the fact that you move a giant ship across the map and the map fires down. Now I haven't actually played it myself, and will most likely have to play another game, or another video rather, in order to show off that mode, because I do feel it is something worth noting, because the mode is very unique. Looks like we actually did lose the match, unfortunately. Here looks like that guy is the winner. I like the nice little cut. You can see him kind of moving around. I was 4-2-1. There was a guy on our team with 12-4-4. Wow, that is crazy. Alright, here, let's go back. I do have one friend online, as you can see. Let's go ahead and jump back here and leave this match mode. So yeah, there is a definitely a lot of depth presented in Hawken. There's a lot of different things you can do with your mechs, a lot of customization, and a lot of replayability. I definitely feel like this is a game where people will be playing a ton and trying to make teams be competitive. And Adhesive Games has expressed their interest in making this kind of like a competitive esports shooter. Which I know in this day and age, every company wants to make their game a competitive esports because that's the thing to do. But I do feel like Hawken has the depth and has the skill in order for it to accomplish that as a free-to-play shooter, specifically as a free-to-play mech shooter. So let's see what we have available here. We're just going to look through the different modes. No siege games currently going on, or else I'd show you that. So let's go ahead and jump into one last game, and I'll show you guys one last class, basically the medium classes available here. Going to go and drop into this Hawken UK deathmatch mode again, and I'm going to show you guys the Bruiser. Now the Bruiser is somewhat like the previous one I just showed you, the Rocketeer, I believe, which is what I played. However, he's much more mobile, less HP, but it still represents the same amount of firepower. Now I cannot seem to get this game started. It looks like this game is currently broken or underway. Beta is beta, of course, so let's go ahead and just do a little quick cut, and we'll get into another game mode. Alright, so we managed to get into a game here. Let's go ahead and start out. Now, I was going to show you guys so we have these light classes, essentially. The Berserker here is a light class, the Assault a light class. But then we have the Bruiser here, which is a medium class here. As you can see, the Point D Vulcan and Hellfire Missiles. Point D Vulcan is kind of like a Gatling gun. It charges up. And the Hellfire Missiles is what you saw in the previous one, where I can basically lock onto an enemy. Now, jumping into this game right here, our team is behind. Hopefully, we can make this a win here for the final little match going on here. But let's go ahead and jump down here. And I'm going to go ahead and fire those rockets. Now, there's a lot of guys here. And as you can see, the Vulcan makes so much noise and does so much damage. Let's see here. Alright, so I did actually take that guy out, but I need to run away because these guys are trying to flank me at the same time. So I can hit my shift button here to actually run around quickly, but once, you know, as a Bruiser here, you actually run out fairly quickly here. So I want to make sure that I don't actually get taken out, and I do get taken out, but, you know, I got our team's first kill. Let's start with that, alright? We can come back from that, no problem here. So I also got an assist on an enemy's kill as well. Let's go ahead and launch the game. Now, when we talk about replayability of this game, it is, of course, early on in the game's existence. This is still a closed beta. There are still things to be added into the game. But already in its current state, I have to say that the game is definitely a must-play. There's so much depth to the game. And it's something that I think we really haven't seen for a while. I know a lot of people are fans of X-Steel and fans of, you know, fast-paced mech shooters. And I feel like this will fill the need and the gap for that for people who are really wanting to play mech shooters who aren't necessarily into the whole simulation style of like Mech Warrior. By the way, this guy's totally dead. I don't know why he went so near other opponents, but who aren't necessarily fans of simulation type games like Mech Warrior Online. We want something a little bit faster pace, and I think Hawken really delivers that to the extent where, you know, if you guys remember the old, I forget exactly what it was called, but the old arcade mech shooter where eventually this guy is, I don't know what's going on here. What's going on here? This guy's shooting rockets at me and stuff. Alright, so this guy's coming around. Let's see if I can get this guy. Yeah, so I took one guy out here. I'm going to use that. And try to take out another guy. Yeah, double kill. Alright, so I got a revenge kill as well. I'm a little bit in the bad position, though. Kind of explodes. Let's see if I can come around here really quickly. Kind of kite around. There's another guy here. Use my rockets. Now, the rockets can be a little bit hard to actually fire. Given the fact... Oh, this guy's another bad guy, aren't you? Come on. I got taken out with an assault rifle. Now, the rockets can be a little bit difficult to fire, I have to say. Holding down the middle mouse button and then hitting right click can be a little different, especially in the heat of battle, and especially when you're trying to hold down your Vulcan at the same time. So I can feel like maybe if we can remap there, or even if you have a mouse with side buttons, remapping that to a side button will feel definitely more organic. You know, of course, this being a PC-only title, being that's free to play, you can definitely expect, you know, that full range of customization. When I talked to developers, I recently interviewed King Lee, which is the creator of Adhesive Games, the original creator of Hawken. This guy is like flailing all over the place. When I talked to him, he really expressed the desire to create a game that other PC gamers can really get behind, you know, and it is what PC gamers want in terms of like a mech shooter. Shoot rockets at that guy there. I think that is a clone. I don't think he's actually there. Yeah, it is a clone in fact. So we make sure not to shoot these clone guys here. And now I do know there's a guy up here. Let's go ahead and put down my little turret there. and shoot my rockets. Now that guy, he's in a little bit of a bad spot because he's in the corner there. Go ahead and come around this side. So you guys can see this isn't, I mean, we're not talking about just shooting a guy and then, you know, shooting him in the head and him instantly dying. You know, there are these fights, there are these fight elements. Ah, I got that guy, yes. So I was able to take him out the last second here. Now they do drop these little balls that give you a little bit of health, so you don't necessarily have to heal after every fight. You do kind of get this like a little bit of sustainability in between your fights. But as you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and heal myself up here because there's no one else coming. But the heals take so long that it's not like you can quickly heal in between a battle and immediately start fighting someone else. You have to make the distinction, you have to make the choice, the call. Do I actually fire at someone while I'm at lower health, or do I run away and get a heal off first? That hologram over there is also one of the more unique abilities in the game, besides of course the different turrets that you can get. You know, and they of course have stated that these aren't all the games currently available. I just got a double kill accidentally. Love getting accidental double kills. Awesome. Alright, so see if I can kind of kite behind this guy. He's in his turret mode, so in a turret mode here, he takes a lot of reduced damage. However, he doesn't move very fast, and if you have weapons that are really high sustained damage, then you can take him out pretty quickly here. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep just flanking around this guy. I don't want this guy to find me here, because we have already teammates here working to take him out. Now I do know there's guys upstairs. Alright, oh, I'm getting shot from behind. Ah, where's this guy at? He's doing a nice job of trying to flank me here. I'm pretty low here, but I'm going to go ahead and hide behind this really quickly. I think the other guy's up top trying to snipe me. Just going to go ahead and heal myself up just a bit here, but not quite full, because I don't really need it full. I'm at 348 health right now, which is about medium health, given the fact. Alright, so there's a lot of guys up here, actually. So let's see if we can... There's a guy way over there in the corner. Let's see if I can go ahead. He is going to head and run off here. Oh, God! Alright, so I think I had dodged a few of those. You can hit shift and left mouse button to shift A and D to actually... can I get a kill on this guy before he gets... Yeah, so we got the kill now. So you can hit shift to, you know, move out of the way, left and right, but you only have a certain amount you can actually use before you're completely out. Oh, there's a guy behind me! Can I get this guy before I get a kill? He's going to EMP himself. Alright, so let's come over here. Hopefully I can keep moving away. Alright, let's see. I've got an assist on that guy. Shoot the rockets. Okay, must not get shot before getting this guy. Alright, let's see if we can actually make our way out of here before I end up getting taken out. Yeah, there we go. I got the kill. Awesomely done. And we are now, it's 21-22, so we're catching up. Definitely going to come up here and heal myself here. So I really feel that the guys at Adhesive Games have done their homework and have done a fantastic job of really creating this environment and this feel of a mech shooter that it's not just a, you know, Call of Duty clone or a typical FPS clone with the mech skin on it, like I've said before. It feels gritty. It feels like you're in this giant mech suit. I mean, the glass breaks as you take damage. There's really a lot of detail put into this game, and of course, it's running on the Unreal 3 engine. And for, you know, Unreal 3 engine, for it to be this old of an engine and have this good of graphics still is quite impressive. It's both a testament to the engine and a testament to the designers making such a good-looking game in such an old engine. So let's go ahead and move out of this way real quickly. There's another guy here. This guy, I gotta make sure not to take him on full because he will end up. Oh God, I'm overheating. So now that I've overheated, oh God, I'm gonna take a. When I overheat, you can't use your weapons as fast, and you have to wait for them to cool down before you actually use them again. Thankfully, you can still move around. You can still actually get out of battle, so you're kind of not just like stuck in one place. If you remember my first look for MechWarrior Online, when you overheat in that game, you do end up staying in one place until your mech rather cools down rather. But then again, you take less damage in MechWarrior, or you can take more damage rather. Not the very fact that you can take less damage, but you can take more damage from attacks. That guy's trying to use a little bit of grenades on me. I'm gonna try to keep counting. Oh, there's so many guys over here. All right, I don't want to fight that head on, so I'm gonna go ahead and just run away here as fast as I can. You can kind of hear those little remarks. That is my mech, in fact. Sorry, that's my turret, in fact, doing some damage. And it can end up getting kills. It actually does a fair amount of damage. It does a lot of sustained damage. And also, you can get the missile ones. The missile ones can actually end up getting kills on their own if people aren't paying attention, which is quite nice. I think I'm being shot at. No, that's my own teammate. He doesn't realize that I am, of course, on his team. It's alright there, buddy. You can still hear my mech getting assists or getting damage off on guys. This guy here doing a good job of trying to kite, but not going to be enough. We're starting to flank him here, and I ended up saving my team. So I like the feedback. There's so much feedback in this game. If you get assists, if you get kills, it tells you. It tells you what you're doing. And I got another assist off of my mech, which is nice. Don't take me out. All right. So I did get another assist there. So I've got 2 assists, and I'm pretty sure the other assist from that was actually indeed from my machine gun, which people aren't paying attention to. It does take a little bit of commitment to actually take it out. You can't just merely shoot it randomly and take it out. You do have to put a few bullets into it. So how are we looking here? Let's go ahead and fill up my health to full this time. I think I'm doing pretty well. We are ahead by 5 kills now, and look at me, 14, 3, and 6. Although I've had some experience playing this game, so I have to say that, I mean, this isn't my first rodeo. This isn't my first time playing this map. So I have a little bit of advantage over these other press members, I have to say. Now, he did a good job. He actually put down an EMP, which will disable my weapons, as you can see here. Weapons just came back online, but I actually got a full barrage of Hellfire missiles off of him, which will do quite a lot of damage. And with the Vulcan gun, I mean, come on, look at that. My good friend Bonky there getting a kill on Pacifica. Nicely done, Bonky. Alright, let's come over here and see if we can find ourselves some more individuals to kill. 1,600, man, I have a huge score advantage over my teammates and the enemy team. Alright, so let's fire some rockets here. Now the rockets, you can of course evade the rockets simply by moving behind cover, etc. And you can fire the rockets without actually locking on to individuals, but I have to say that locking on gives you the fullest advantage. And I would only recommend shooting rockets at point blank range. Oh, I am totally dead. I took a heat cannon and rockets to the face like non-stop. Alright, so let's choose a different mech for this final little bout here. What do we got available here? We got the Berserker here, which is a tow rocket, and an assault rifle. Let's go ahead and try this out. This is the fast moving light class. As you can see, I've got 2 little grenades on my disposal, and I move extremely fast, but I also burn through my fuel fast. Now you can put points into the mobility tree in order to gain a lot of points a lot faster. Let's go ahead and evade this guy as much as possible here. But as you can see, he can take a lot of damage, and if I'm not careful, I'll just end up taking damage to the face, which I'm doing already. And my weapons have overheated already, and now I must run away very quickly, as extremely as possible. And I got taken out. Unfortunately, I was not around my teammates at that time. They're doing a good job now of sticking together as a team, so it becomes much more difficult. In fact, this game, I have to say, even Team Deathmatch, when you think that it's just about individual skills, it really brings in a lot more team-based play, because you have to actually work with your team. You can't just instantly kill 5 people at once, you know, unless they're already low, although I did get a nice little kill there. So you do have to actually make sure that you're working with your team, because it can be very difficult to... Oh, whoa! Just got toe launched from behind, although I did get an assist there. But the guy got me right from behind, and I do believe that there is some positional damage, so taking damage in the back, for example, may make you take more damage, although I'm not 100% sure. But I have seen myself take a fair amount of damage from the back previously, so that would lead me to believe. Now the tow rocket here doesn't actually, it's a dumb fire rocket, so you just kind of fire it in a general direction, but it has a fairly large explosion radius, meaning that you can do quite a lot of damage with it. And that guy just shot a tow rocket right at my face, taking me down more than hell. So light assaults are really good at taking out other light assaults. I'm going to make sure not to get taken out by this guy. See if we can kite around here. I'm pretty sure I just rocketed myself, and that guy just hit me with a tow launcher. So I'm not doing too well with the light assault. We can switch this to a submachine gun. Moving on more. I mean, again, these are all distinctive playstyles. Each playstyle is very unique, and each playstyle represents something different for players to try out and really find their groove. The developers really wanted people of all different playstyles to try the game. If you're not really into the fast-paced mech shooter, you can choose the heavier mechs and kind of plod along more. If you like the fast-paced aspects of it, like something more along the lines of X-Steel, you can go with the lighter assaults to kind of move around really quickly. But guys, that's going to be my first look here for Hawken, the closed beta of Hawken. Expect more coverage in the future when more, the beta becomes more available, and expect also beta keys here at MMOBomb.com. Just make sure to keep checking us back at the website for that giveaway happening soon. I'm Spunkify. I'll see you guys next time here on MMOBomb. This has been Spunkify. Spunkify out.